This is a closed captioner mic check, checking for captions. I see captions, thank you.
question.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 9:30 on December 11th, 2025. My name is Mike Kelly. I'm the chair of the Board of County Commissioners for Johnson County, Kansas. Thank you, everybody, for coming to today's meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. At this time, I'd ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioner Fest.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer here.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick here.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Here. Here.
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye. All of the board members are present, so we have a quorum and a duly constituted meeting. If you'd all join me as you are so able to, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us in person or online watching today. If you would do me a favor, if you're in person, check your cell phone or any other noise-making device that you may have brought with you today, and please make sure that it's turned to silent or turned off. We really appreciate your cooperation and partnership. We'll start today with the public comment portion of the agenda. It's an opportunity for speakers to address commission items or county business that otherwise does not appear on today's action agenda. If you do wish to speak on an action item that's on today's agenda, we do ask that you refrain at this time during this general public comment session and that you hold that comment for the action item itself. When you do come to the dais, we ask you state your name and the community in which you reside. The comments are limited to 2 minutes. There's a clock on either side of the dais that will assist you with that time period. If you happen to go beyond the 2-minute time period, we'll give you an opportunity to conclude your comments. We do ask that these public comments refrain from remarks that are personally offensive, impertinent, profane, slanderous, comments that would insult or demean any person or groups of persons. If we happen to stray into that kind of public comment, I'll provide a warning. If it continues, we will ask that you step aside from the dais. We welcome public comments virtually, though I don't believe we have any virtual requests for public comment today. Therefore, we'll call on the public commenters in person in the order that they registered. We'll start with Brian Perkins.
Brian Perkins here. I currently reside in Lathrop, Kansas, and I'm homeless. I noticed there was a meeting a couple nights ago, and I noticed on that name of the meeting, on the agenda was an emergency BOCC meeting. And I sat there and I thought to myself, well, there's a lot of emergencies right now. Shelters are an emergency. Transitional housing is an emergency. Providing housing for those in need is an emergency. Also, safety nets to avoid people falling into homelessness is an emergency. Chairman Kelly, I asked you this question at the Nehemiah Assembly on May 6th. What would you want? For anyone you knew, could be a friend, could be a cousin, could be a friend of a friend. I ask all of you, what would you want for that person? What would you want for yourselves if you were to fall into homelessness? I didn't choose this life of homelessness. I fell into a crack. I fell into making poor choices. I grew up through instability. I had it good. I didn't have it great, but I had it good. But it happens. There's many people in Johnson County that are really close to falling into homelessness. There's many people getting another job to afford to live here. They're still like teetering. They're treading water. Commissioner Hanslick, you said it best a while ago. I don't remember exactly what date this was, but Article 7, the State of Kansas Constitution, you are responsible for upholding that when you're elected. And we still talk and talk and talk. Until we actually have plenty of conversations, until people can have a bed to lay in, to know they're gonna be okay. To not fight survival, this is gonna continue to grow. Chairman Kelly, you stated to us at our lunch one time, let's go to Topeka together. I will go with you. Pick a time and date. I will be more than happy to go with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ben Hobart.
Ben Holbert, Westwood Hills. Chairman Kelly and Commissioners, I waited until 11:10 a.m. yesterday to sign up for public comments. I was waiting to see the sales tax proposition repeal added as an agenda item because I wanted to address that item. The sales tax proposition repeal was not added at that time. I believe it was not added until some time after the online sign-up window was closed, so I had to sign up before the meeting today in order to offer comments. This was perplexing. Chairman Kelly, you knew as of 6:30 p.m. Tuesday night that the sales tax proposition repeal was going to be added as an agenda item. Yet you delayed adding it until after the citizen sign-up period had lapsed. You easily could have added it even if the briefing sheet had not been completed by simply referencing briefing sheet to be added when completed. You have added other agenda items in the past on Tuesday evenings when it suited your purpose. I view this delay to minimize citizen comment as another censorship tactic. It speaks of a disrespect for the process, disrespect of citizens, and debases the perceptions of this board. Given this foreclosure of citizen online sign-up to offer comment on the sales tax proposition agenda repeal, I believe the right thing to do would be to treat the sales tax proposition repeal agenda item as a public with anyone free to offer comments at today's meeting. Thank you for receiving my comments.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Jeff Harkness.
Jeff Harkness, Overland Park. Chairman, Commissioners, we have a disability inclusion movement going on here in our local communities. I went ahead and bumped it up to a full AI thing to accessibility and inclusion for all, combined with the Christian definition of equality, which includes all people, you know, which I mentioned the other day. All people are created equal, just not the same. Now, what I like that we've got that new for our kids. Well, this will give our kids, get them into the financial world and all that stuff. This might be the time to issue a 50-year treasury bond for infrastructure, so the kids will be my age when those come due. I'll be 112. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Mr. Harkness. I believe that's all the registered general public commenters we have at this time. So we're going to move on to the notes for the record. Please note for the record that I'll be signing the following. First is, first are funding agreements with the Enterprise Center of Johnson County, the United Community Services of Johnson County, the County Economic Research Institute, the Johnson County Fair Board, and the Arts Council of Johnson County for fiscal year 2026 in accordance with the approved FY 2026 budget. I'll be signing an agreement with the City of Overland Park for a stormwater system renewal project known as 77th and Metcalf. I'll be signing an agreement with the City of Prairie Village for a stormwater system renewal project known as Briar. Further, I'll be signing another agreement with the City of Overland Park for a stormwater system renewal project known as Lowell 108th and South Lake Dam Spillway. And then finally, I'll be signing a third agreement with the City of Overland Park for a stormwater system renewal project known as 154th and Newton Street. At this time, we will consider the printed consent agenda. I believe there were some requests for removing items from the consent agenda. I want to make sure I got them all. Commissioner Ashcraft, was it 13, 14?
Since it was renumbered, Mr. Chairman, I think it was 14 and 15 that were renumbered.
15 is on action, so you're asking for number 14 then to go to?
No, the revised one. I had the restructuring of the fire board as consent 15 on the revised agenda, which came out late last night.
These two, the appointments, and then the.
You give us just 1 second here. Do I have the wrong agenda?
I believe so.
Okay, would you mind asking? Can I hold on to this, please? Okay. My apologies. So number 14, the nominations.
Yes, and
Okay.
15, the fire, of the revised agenda.
Okay, so
Thank
of
you.
the revised agendas, number 14 and 15 will go to action. Anything further, Commissioner Brewer?
I just had one corrections to the minutes, so that would need to take it off of consent as well.
Okay, we'll take the minutes off of consent as well. Any further modifications? Okay, how about a motion for the consent agenda as amended, Commissioner Hansel?
I move to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Ellen Brand, second.
So moved by Commissioner Hanslick and seconded by Commissioner Allen Brand. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen Brand,
Ellen Brand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye. That's 7 in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
All right, very good, thank you. We'll go to item number 1 on the agenda. Those are the November 13, 2025 business session minutes. Commissioner Brewer, you asked for discussion on the item.
Just a simple correction under Commissioner comments, under mine. It references the adult crisis stabilization that will begin construction soon. It was actually that it opened. Yep, that's the only change I have. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, is there therefore a motion to approve the minutes as corrected? Let's get in there. Commissioner Hanslick?
I move to approve the November 13th, 2025 business session minutes as corrected by Commissioner Brewer.
Ellen Brand, second.
So moved by Commissioner Hanslick, seconded by Commissioner Allen Brand. Seeing no further discussion on the topic, would the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Fast,
Aye.
Commissioner Myers,
Myers, aye.
Brewer,
Brewer, aye.
Hanslick,
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen Brand,
Ellen Brand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye. There are 7 votes in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count? Thank you very much. We'll move on at this time to what was previously item 14 on the agenda. This is resolution number 162-25. This appoints nominees to the Johnson County Consolidated Fire District Number 1 Advisory Board. These are members who had, at least in my case, previously served on Fire District Number 1's board. And I will let other commissioners confirm that the nominees are either replacements or reappointments from the previous Fire District Board 1 to this now advisory board, which if I could take, well, we'll go to Commissioner Allen Brand and then I'll circle back. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you,
Allen
Chair. I'm sorry, I should have did my raise hands. So my appointments, and I thank the chair because we had a board who showed a lot of leadership in making this decision, and they really wanted to be a part of this. 2 of them are retiring, and so I feel very confident in the nomination that I have, and also with the chair to continue with the leadership on the new advisory board that's going to be hopefully taking place today.
Very good. Commissioner Brewer?
Yes, so as Commissioner Allen shared, this is in recognition of the advisory board that's being created in support of the consolidation of Fire District 2 and Fire District 1 to the new consolidated Fire District 1. Fire District 2, actually, the Board of County Commissioners has served as the board of that fire district since I believe, and my fellow commissioners can correct me since it predates my time on the commission, I think back to 2021. So we haven't had a resident, is that correct, Ms. 18, thank you, back to 2018. So we haven't had a formal board that has not been the Board of County Commissioners for Fire District 2. So in recognition of the hard work that many of the Fire District 1 board participated in supporting the consolidation, I was supportive of recognizing, of course, Commissioner Allen Brand is going to be, her role is to appoint somebody out of her district to that new advisory body. My role is to appoint someone out of my district to that new advisory body, and then the chair has appointments as well. So I was supportive of bringing some of that existing Fire District 1 Advisory Board into some of those roles. And my appointee, of course, is out of District 3, Mr. Heil, and he has served in a number of volunteer capacities for the county, but also for the Stillwell area, including past Albury Township clerk. So he has the experience that I feel will be an asset to this new advisory body, to new Consolidated Fire District 1.
Commissioner Allen.
I have a motion when you're ready, Chair.
Very good. Questions, comments, Commissioner Ashcraft?
No, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to thank you. You more than adequately answered my questions.
Happy to do so. How about that motion, Commissioner Allen?
Thank you, Chair. I move the Board of County Commissioners approve Resolution Number 162-25, appointing the Chair's nominees Michael P. Casey Sr. and Brian Walker, the 3rd District Commissioner nominee Larry Heisel, and the 6th District Commissioner nominee David DeVetta to the Johnson County Consolidated Fire Number 1 Advisory Board.
Brewer, second.
So moved by Commissioner Allen Brand, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. Seeing no further questions, would the clerk call the roll on the motion pending?
Commissioner Fast.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Commissioner Allen Brand.
Allen Brand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, that's 7 in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good, thank you. Then we'll move on at this time to resolution number 163-25. It was number 15. It is the establishment of the appointments of the trustees of the governing board of Johnson County Consolidated Fire District Number 2. Commissioner Ashcraft, you asked for discussion on this item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Couple of questions, if I could. There's a provision in the briefing sheet that indicates that trustees serve at the pleasure of the board and may be removed by majority vote. Is that a new process insertion, or is that something that already exists for these types of boards?
That's probably a question for legal counsel, and she has already anticipated being called upon. So Chief Counsel Peg Trent.
Thank you. Chief Counsel Peg Trent, Chair and Commissioner Ashcraft, that has been standard policy through all of the boards in the reorganization. So we are trying to make this board consistent with all of the county-appointed boards, the 18, to be the fire districts with that. So that is correct.
So just to clarify, this is a new insertion with the reorganization that have been, it was not included in the previous foundational documents?
I am not understanding. So if I understand what you're saying is in the previous creation of the fire district itself,
Correct.
Consolidated Fire District 2, it did not include, one, that we expanded it from 5 to 7 members, which is authorized under statute. The original organizing documents did not indicate that we approve the nomination, who makes the nominations, and then it's approved by the board. And it also did not get into qualifications of those members. It is in state statute, but it was not part of the original organization. So this cleans it up so that there's no mistake that there is a residency requirement consistent with state statute that allows 3 years prior to their being appointed to the board and then subsequently living within that Consolidated Fire District 2 district.
Well, I appreciate the expanded answer to my question and several others. But one other, Mr. Chair, if I may, it indicates that the effective date for this reorganization is March 1st. Is there a reason why we're waiting till March 1st rather than, say, January 1st to initiate this effort?
Yes. Chair and Commissioner Ashcraft, that date was chosen in order to give us a time normally, and ordinarily when we reorganize, we do 60 days to 90 days to give us time to do it, and with the holidays, it was best to push it to March.
Okay, thank you. That
Fair enough.
good.
Okay. Commissioner Allen Brand.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Trent, so you've been actively, you and your team, which I applaud you for doing that, going through all of our boards, getting everybody up. And this is, I think, maybe the last one.
We
Or
have
do we
one
have
more fire
Oh, we've got a
district.
couple more stuff coming.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. So I was trying to put a rush on it, but.
No, we have
anyway.
other boards we've gotten through. Thank you. We just got through the 18 or 19
Yes.
county appointed boards. I think they're up to 20 now.
Yeah.
And then we've moved over to the fire districts. We've hit some of the governing board, so we will move towards the others to complete those by the end of 2026.
Well, I really appreciate your work because there has been boards that I looked at. In fact, the papers were yellow, that we had never addressed it. And I feel like this is a clear vision of what we should have probably been doing some time ago. So thank you for that.
You're
And I don't want to take it away from Commissioner Fast, but if you need a motion, I'd be more than happy to make it.
This isn't my,
Commissioner Brewer?
Yes.
Sorry.
There was a comment that Commissioner Ashcraft made, and I just want to make sure that we're clear on this. The process that we went with boards, councils, and commissions, where commissioners and chair are responsible for some, if not all, the appointments, were bylaw rewrites. So they become the new founding document, because a comment was made about, is this different than the founding documents? But when we do a bylaw update, the new approved bylaws become the guiding documents on how we appoint, what terms are like, and how removal and vacancies are filled.
I don't want to wordsmith what you just said, but your resolutions that you have been adopting similar to this, those reorganize them to be the foundation document. The bylaws take the foundation and expand or expound on it to be able, but you can't, it's giving you the governing authority from this reorganization. The bylaws just get into like, where are we going to meet? What are we going to do? Just kind of getting more into the mechanics of the meeting and operation of the meeting. Those also will come back to you from the board after they review it for your approval as a board.
Okay, and thank you for correcting my semantics. I appreciate that. I just wanted to be clear that we have gone through this process for more than a year in order to have our founding documents, have a consistency, have a process and a pattern that is a through line throughout all of our appointment responsibilities.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, not seeing further questions at this time. Commissioner Allenbrand, you'd offered the motion?
Yes, Chair. I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve resolution number 163-25, establishing the structure, qualifications, and the county nomination authority for appointments of trustees to the governing board of Johnson County Consolidated Fire District Number 2 with an effective date of March 1, 2026.
Hanslick, second.
So moved by Commissioner Allenbrand, seconded by Commissioner Hanslick. I don't believe there's other requests for comments at this time, so I'd ask the clerk to call the roll on the motion pending.
Commissioner Fast.
I'm,
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, that's 7 in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good, thank you very much. This time, we'll move on to item number 16, which is resolution number 160-25, expressing support for Terra Power Advanced Nuclear Energy Facility consideration. Adam Norris is here. Adam, thank you for your presentation on agenda review. Anything further that you would like to provide before we consider the item?
No.
All right, thank you very much. Give me 1 second there. I believe we do have a request for public comment on this, so I'd ask you to step aside. Therefore, invite Jeff Harkness.
Jeff Harkness, Overland Park, Chairman, Commissioners. Now, I always figured if we brought nuclear power back, we were going to have to redo our reservoirs and put it in some kind of cooling type of atmosphere. But now it looks like they're putting it in the ground, and I'm thinking maybe eventually this will lead to wireless power. That's just some comments. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right. We'll start with Commissioner Allenbrand.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Norris, I was trying to remember your last name. always call you Thorn, so I don't know. Anyway, I want to thank you and your team for the detailed information from the briefing sheet and also from agenda review. And Chair, when you're ready, I have a motion.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I had asked this to be removed from consent, and the reason I did that was not because I had any concerns about it, because I think the intent of the effort is well placed. I just wanted to make sure that, though, that nuclear energy and its development in this country has been a longstanding issue, and I can remember back in the 70s with the 3 Mile Island and the film, the China Syndrome that came out at the same time, and the hysterics that grew out of that in some ways, I think, stymied nuclear development. And today, the discussion is much more fluid and much more positive, I think, from both sides of the aisle. But there will still be people that have long-term residual questions, and I just want to make sure that we're upfront about it so that there can be discussion as this effort goes forward. And I hope it's successful. I think there are great opportunities there. So I just wanted to offer that perspective, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Brewer.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And just a reminder, especially if someone either tuning in or with joining us live today or was not able to participate in a previous agenda review on this item, this is really allowing us just to, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Norris, but this is just the first step of saying we're expressing that interest and we're open to be considered. This is not a final step. So there's many steps that would happen once this particular action is taken.
Yeah, you're 100% correct.
Okay, and I'm putting that out there because sensitive to some of the comments from Commissioner Ashcraft to make sure that folks are aware of the changes in this particular type of energy, and that if they're hearing it for the first time today, one, it's been discussed before, and two, this is just the beginning of a number of steps that would have to occur before anything would come to our area.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Thank you. Following up on Commissioner Ashcraft's comments, I think it's helpful to point out in the briefing sheet that this project has bipartisan support from Governor Kelly, Lieutenant Governor Toland, and U.S. Senators Moran and Marshall, and that it also has a safeguard. The resolution expresses interest only. It doesn't approve any specific project or site. County and local government retains full land use, zoning, and regulatory authority, and any specific project requires separate governing body approval after comprehensive public engagement. So I think has been said, at the preliminary step, nothing is promised or in stone. So I'm supportive of this.
Yes, nothing's promised, nothing's required, frankly, at this point. And as you mentioned, not only county approval, but multiple federal agencies and state and other local regulatory approvals would be required. But I think it's important that we're having the conversation. As we think about our county and how our county is growing, the bottleneck is energy. Making sure we have reliable energy to power our homes, to power businesses in our community remains a challenge. And therefore, being willing to have the conversation, being willing to innovate and to learn, I think is an important step. And I'm glad that Johnson County is willing to be at the table for those conversations. Commissioner Allenbrand, you said you had the motion on this.
Yes, Chair, thank you. I move that the Board of County Commissioners approve Resolution Number 160-25, expressing support for Terra Power's consideration of Johnson County as potential site for an advanced nuclear emergency energy facility.
Hanslick, second.
So moved by Commissioner Allenbrand, seconded by Commissioner Hanslick. Seeing no further discussion at this time, would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Fast.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, that's 7 in favor and none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Norris. At this time, we'll move on to item number 17. That is the 2026 pilot program strategy for the Senior Property Tax Relief Program. Tom Franzen is here to discuss or to appear for the item. Mr. Franzen, thank you for the multiple conversations, the study sessions, and the committee of the whole that we've had on the topic. As we sit here today, is there anything further that you would like to provide to the board before consideration?
Good morning, Chairman Kelly and Commissioners. Tom Franzen, Treasury Taxation Vehicles. I have nothing further to add. As the Chairman has mentioned, we've had some very good conversations around this topic and happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you very much. There are requests for public comments on this. I'm going to ask you to step aside for a moment. And when the clerk is ready, looks like we're good. Mr. Ben Hobart is first.
Ben Holbert, Westwood Hills. Chairman Kelly and Commissioners, the proposed property tax relief pilot is ineffectual, insignificant, and discriminatory. It throws a bone to a segment of the population to tamp down the political fallout from this board's spendaholic addictions, which have increased property taxes to the breaking point for many Johnson County residents. Numerous decisions have demonstrated the chairman's and a majority of this board's indifference to citizens and their tax burden. Here are a few. The $20 million giveaway to Evergreen Living Innovations of SLFRF funds, which almost could have frozen property taxes for all citizens for a year. The $20 million rate of reserves to help subsidize the construction cost of Taj Mahal Health Services Building. The $5.5 million all-in opportunity cost of the absolutely indefensible toilet travesty expenditure at the Health Services Building. Continual unquestioned grants of 10-year property tax abatements for commercial development. The use of outdated payments in lieu of taxes, which detrimentally impacts the aggregate tax base, thereby shifting even more of the tax burden onto resident citizens. This pilot program does nothing to address the root causes of the property tax burden inflicted on citizens. Thank you for receiving my comments.
Thank you. Next is Jeff Harkness.
Jeff Harkness, Overland Park. Chairman, Commissioners, every decision the county makes is based on two principles: the expectations of our jurisdiction and the accountability for the individual identities within our jurisdiction. Now, last count, we have over 90,000 local jurisdictions in our county, and it's hard for you guys to weigh this out. Now, I like the fact that you're putting it on Park and Rec, and I think, heck, the school district could be a good self-funded effort for this project. I think we need to include all the elements within our communities. And Overland Park already has the lowest property tax rate in the state, and they've got all kinds of identity issues. We've got 19 cities you guys have to deal with all their identity, traditions, and customs. I still would like to see us just refund all the free money to the property owners in May of this year to help through the World Cup, but it looks like the transition in October, when all the funds are supposed to be used up, and I'd given you that article on the grant, keeping track of grants in the books is going to change. It might be just a time to let it roll off the books, and we'll see what happens. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Harkness. I believe that's all the registered public commenters, so at this time we invite back Mr. Franzen for discussion and for consideration. Commissioner Hanslick, did you want to start? If not, I'm happy to.
No, I'm glad to.
Okay.
Well, I was sitting here thinking about some stories of residents whom I've worked with over the past few years. And I'm thinking particularly of one person who I went and met with her in her home. She's a senior resident, and she doesn't have a computer, doesn't have a cell phone. And she had contacted me because she had concerns specifically about the state, the limitations on the state property tax rebate, because her home is just on the verge of probably being valued above $350,000. And so I met with her, made sure she had all the paperwork, and she was unaware of the county's and the city's property tax rebate. And so for her, she was terrified that she would lose that state tax rebate, and she was thrilled to find out that she still qualified for the counties. And so I say all that because this program impacts real people. It impacts people in our county who are struggling to stay in their homes. They're concerned if they are going to continue to meet the state criteria. And by increasing our maximum appraised home value to $500,000 and removing the age requirement to allow more folks, especially those who have disabilities, I'm really proud that I'll be able to tell people like the woman I mentioned, you will qualify. And while I don't have authority over your taxes through the schools or the state or the city, you will qualify for a full refund of your county property taxes. And for her, that's a huge, huge difference. So I'm very supportive of this. I'm very proud of our county for doing this and taking care of our most vulnerable people.
Thank you. Commissioner Ashcraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Franzen, under the funding overview, the last sentence, you indicate that the minimum is anticipated to be $370,000 with a possible maximum of $7 million. Is that correct?
Commissioner Ashcraft, based on the parameters that staff was looking at, we were using data sources that said there's a possibility of that. The probability of that is very low, but we wanted to make sure the board understood the possible magnitude if it was completely adopted.
And if it exceeds the 370 to any extent, then what will be the source of funding or the funding plan? Will that come out of reserves?
Good question, Commissioner Ashcraft. As we had discussed with the board during the committee, we would be coming back to the board next spring with the results of the program and with recommendations on if it would exceed the available funds. We would have recommendations for the board, but that would be a board decision.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'll just reiterate what was at least in part discussed at this committee of the whole last week and has been somewhat discussed over time, is we understand that property taxes impact all residents of Johnson County. We also recognize and have discussed how the levers of funding for local government have been changed over the past few decades to where there are not as many avenues for funding the crucial services that everybody enjoys and needs in Johnson County, whether that's EMS, whether that's public health, whether that's mental health, whether that's the sheriff's department, et cetera. And so we're left with fewer options to be able to fund these crucial services. We understand that because of that, the property tax burden, the cost of labor and inflation affects everybody. It also affects the county. And while we continue to try to innovate and we try to be efficient in the use of those resources, and I think we have a good track record of doing so, we still recognize that, especially those who are seniors or on a fixed income, the increase has been incredibly daunting. Therefore, we look at what avenues we have to provide that property tax relief while balancing that with the needs to provide critical services within our community. We have a top-down approach, and that's mill levy reductions. And this county has taken advantage of that 7 of the last 8 years, providing mill levy reductions. But mill levy reductions are top-down in that a bigger mill levy reduction has a larger impact on those who have a more valuable home, as opposed to this program, which is more of a bottom-up approach. We provide targeted relief to those who need it the most. and therefore we can have the greatest impact on keeping people in their homes and avoiding very terrible situations. And as an example, on a 2 mil reduction for a home that is $500,000, the average cost of a home in Johnson County, a 2 mil reduction saves them about $115 a year. Now that takes away $30 million in what we would be able to utilize to provide these crucial services, which is a huge hit to the budget in Johnson County. At the same time, this program, if the person were eligible at that $500,000 house, they would get a $997 rebate. That's the kind of meaningful relief that can help somebody remain in their home. So we'll continue to try to work with the legislature on making sure that we have the tools to be able to provide the services that are necessary, but also be able to target relief in a way that is impactful for folks in Johnson County. Frankly, I think we should and could be doing a little bit more, but this is a pilot program that was previously funded at $500,000, has lasted 2 years, and based on the usage of the program and the growth of the usage in the program, the remaining funding in that pilot should be enough to satisfy this year at the parameters in which we're setting the program. However, if it's not, I look forward to the policy discussion about what's next. So thank you all very much for the opportunity to discuss that, Commissioner Brewer and then Commissioner Fast.
I appreciate the fact that as we enter the third year of this pilot, we started the first year with establishing, finding dollars within the budget to fund a baseline. And then learning from that first year, have made some changes into that second year, and now we're making changes into the third year as we recognize what are some of the barriers and what are some of the populations who may be at a higher risk, who are being left behind in previous iterations of the pilot. But still being mindful to look at earmarking the dollars that have already been put into the pilot as we go into the third year. I look forward to seeing the data from each improvement, which we have, and now this third improvement, because that'll help inform us what policy can look like moving forward. So I appreciate, I do feel that both at the state and local level, more conversation, collaboration needs to happen. I appreciate the last two meetings that we had, both at the whole and in agenda review. We also discussed how we could better collaborate with city programs and maybe have a one entry point, a coordinated process for a couple reasons. One, to make it more accessible from those residents for whom this is, who we are identifying. And two, to raise the visibility of the programs, both at the county and at the local, at the city level. And then hopefully, continue to work with improvements at the state level for a program that, as one of our public speakers discussed, is more encompassing. I appreciate the work on this pilot, and I appreciate your department's work in continuing to learn from the data and recommending improvements. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fast.
Yes, can you tell me about the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund? I mean, what is that you got 90,000 from? Is that a state, federal? Will we continue to get that money?
Commissioner Fast, that's a very good question. We touched on that in the committee of the whole. It is a separate funding level, and if we want to get into the details of that, I believe Mr. Christensen's available, but it is a federal level funding mechanism, and I believe it was a one-time funding mechanism.
Okay, that was my main question. I couldn't remember if we're going to get it every year. I fully support going 500,000, which for appraised value, which I brought up our initial year, in Northeast, homes, that are under 1,000 square feet that are built in 1950 are 500,000. So, I mean, these are older homes, and it's really the average appraised value anymore in Northeast Johnson County in District 1. I guess, I know Commissioner Hanslick brought up about the age. I would still rather have it targeted to 65 or move it down to 60, but we made that decision in committee of the whole that I think we're just kind of opening up the floodgate right now And it'd be better to just move it down to 60 or 55 versus just opening it way up like we are. So that's my thoughts, but I know we've had extensive conversation already.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanslick,
I'm glad to make a motion.
why don't you go ahead?
I move to approve, excuse me, the FY 2026 Property Tax Relief Pilot Program requirements, which include an increase to the maximum home appraised valuation to $500,000 and removal of the 65 or older age requirement, while keeping all other requirements from the FY 2024 pilot program in place.
Myers,
second.
I was darn near in harmony. We'll give it to Commissioner Myers. Further discussion, Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Franzen, I want to build on something that Commissioner Brewer mentioned. I wanted to thank you and your staff for this effort. It's required a certain level of finesse, not only with constituents, but also with commissioners. It's been a new opportunity for you to learn and grow and try to develop a program, and you have stewarded it quite well, and I thank you for it. Having said that, my hesitation is, and Mr. Franzen, you indicated it's unlikely, but to have an open-ended possibility of it going up to, well, into the millions of dollars, potentially, probably not, $7 million as an extraordinary budget allocation that then puts us in a corner if we're in some ways successful, if we have a lot of people who take advantage of this and then having to make decisions of either somehow clawing it back or funding it, especially going into this coming fiscal cycle where revenues are uncertain at best at this point. I just have those reservations. So consequently, while the intention of this program is noble, my vote will reflect that concern.
Thank you, sir. Further questions or comments at this time? Okay, well, then we'll ask the clerk to call the question on Commissioner Hanslick's motion.
Commissioner Fest.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft. Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye. That is 6 votes in favor and 1 against.
It is.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thanks,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Franzen. We'll move on at this time to item 17 on the agenda. It's resolution number 164-25, which is withdrawing the call of the special mail ballot election scheduled for March 3rd of 2026. I believe we have or Chief Counsel Peg Trent is skating over for the item. Ms. Trent.
Thank you. Chair and Commissioners, as you are aware, several months ago in July, we have filed a declaratory judgment action against the Attorney General's office involving an AG opinion interpreting the sales ballot language under Resolution 09525. At this point, the judge, at approximately 3 o'clock on Tuesday, December 9th, rendered an opinion related to our litigation involving the interpretation of that use of public safety retailer sales tax funds. The decision indicated that funds for public safety are limited to the use of construction of law enforcement facilities, as well as operations related to those facilities. As you are aware, the interpretation is narrow, and resulting in the language that we currently have within your proposed ballot language to be improper, illegal, unlawful, whatever word that I've heard said about it. So at this point, it is our recommendation from the legal department to withdraw that ballot language at this point.
Thank you very much. Ms. Trent, I'll ask that you step aside. There is registered public comment on this, so we'll invite Mr. Ben Hobart.
Ben Holbert, Westwood Hills, Chairman Kelly and Commissioners. The taxpayers of Johnson County should know that the everything but the kitchen sink sales tax Prop A was a grossly negligent decision. To then further proceed with a declaratory judgment action after having received a very well-reasoned opinion from the Attorney General that the 2025 proposition clearly exceeded the board's statutory authority was foolhardy. Now the Shawnee District Court has confirmed that the 2025 proposition is null and void. The statute was clear in defining the purpose of building a courthouse, a medical examiner's facility, and other projects associated with law enforcement. This board, however, tried to contort the statute and the 2016 adopted proposition in order to create a $270 million slush fund. The issue was never a close call. This board's poor decisions resulted in lost time, which has likely eliminated funding solutions which could have been possible through legislative means. As a result, this board has jeopardized a new stream of revenue potential to Johnson County citizens in 2027. Chairman Kelly, it is clear you owe a formal apology to Senator Thompson and Attorney General Cobalt for your unhinged, vitriolic tirade of July 24, 2025, attacking these public servants who were fulfilling their duties to protect the law. Lest anyone think my criticism is too strident, please read the transcription of Chairman Kelly's tirade, which I put into the public record, sees September 25th, 2025 meeting. Any citizen may issue a core request to obtain the transcribed tirade. Yes, the proposition should be withdrawn. It never should have been proposed in the first instance. What an embarrassing farce and a further degradation of this board's credibility. Thank you for receiving my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Hobart. All right, I'll invite back Ms. Trent and open for questions and discussion from the board. Commissioner Hanslick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is I think, a sad day for taxpayers in Johnson County. As we have had many, many discussions on this board about the many ways that the state legislature has removed our ability to diversify funding sources from residential property taxpayers. This was a well-reasoned proposition to find a way to use the sales tax to continue to fund especially our public safety services that are critical to people's lives. These are literally life and death services. And so to have this ruling that once again takes away another revenue source is really a sad day for the taxpayers, because we have very limited ways to diversify our revenue sources. And our residents continue to tell us public safety is their number one priority. And I am frustrated. I will support this, but I'm very frustrated that the legislature and the Attorney General don't realize that they are hurting Johnson County. I mean, we are the economic engine of this state. If Johnson County is not strong, Kansas is not strong. And so I'm very disappointed in the need to take this action, and I'm very sad for the taxpayers. But thank you for bringing this forward, and I don't think we have much choice at this point.
Commissioner Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I, for one, can tell you that I'm not embarrassed at all. In fact, I'm proud, again, of this board and the chairman and the work that we try to do to help our residents of this community. I disagree with so much with what Mr. Hobart said, but I'm not going to spend time discussing all the disagreements that I have. What we do is we accept the decision that was made, and now we move forward in discussing other ways that we can try to come up with solutions to help the residents of Johnson County and provide the services that they need and want. That's what we will do. That's what we always do. And again, I plan on continuing and working as hard as I can to be that helpful person behind helping our residents of Johnson County.
Commissioner Burr.
Well said, Commissioner Myers. I appreciate that sentiment, and I share that sentiment. You know, I think we've gotten to a point in our society that we're so focused on winners and losers that we don't recognize that when we have responsibilities, especially around public service, emergency, safety, mental health, healthcare, all these areas that are vital to a thriving community, that when we cannot work together to find solutions, we all lose. So I appreciate that we looked at the data, that we studied the opportunities, and we worked to put forward a solution that was mindful of diversifying funding so that we could address another area that we hear from residents around over-reliance on property tax. And just a little reminder, that's your ad valorem tax. At the county and city level, we can't pick and choose who we assess property tax to. So when we assess ad valorem tax, that's residential, that's commercial, that's agricultural, that's personal property, we can set the rate, but we can't eliminate or limit what goes into that. That's actually a state action. So I'm hopeful that we can continue to work together as a community. I'm confident we can work together as a Board of County Commissioners, and I'm hopeful that we can work together as a state to recognize critical and vital services and how we continue to fund them and to provide excellence in those services that for many is a matter of life and death when we think about public safety. So I'm hoping that we can kind of turn down the rhetoric of winners and losers and focus on how we find solutions together. Thank you.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Excuse me.
One more?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't disagree with the comments made from the dais, but I will offer that I do see it a little bit differently. The one comment was that this is not a good day for taxpayers, but I would submit that it actually is a good day because the process worked. And while we might agree or disagree with the outcome, it's the process that was intended, and there was a resolution which will compel us to go forward somewhat along the lines of what Commissioner Myers had indicated. And I would say that it compels us to focus on a spending plan that is reasonable and is funded out of available resources and provides as much taxpayer relief as possible. The financial affairs of the county have to be paramount and can't be dependent upon what might or might not pass with voter approval. We have a budget and a revenue stream that we need to use as effectively and as efficiently as possible. And this compels us to do that seriously, and I know the county manager is working in that regard with that perspective for the coming budget year. If there are other opportunities or other attempts to pursue some other kind of funding source, then those will have to be addressed and discussed. I look forward to those conversations.
So I'll be very brief, but as I said on Tuesday night, the need remains. The whole conversation has been that we have a growing and aging population, a 70% increase in MedAct call volume, increased costs for ambulances, increased costs for labor. The needs are there and they are getting bigger. There's a fundamental feeling of public safety in Johnson County, and to me that is sacrosanct. I hope it is for everybody else on this board. I believe it is. And therefore, we are not going to play politics or jeopardize public safety. We are going to fully fund public safety. The question is how we do that. I agree with Commissioner Ashcraft on that point. But available revenues for these are limited. I appreciate the efficiencies that we have found within the budget. If you think there's places in the budget where we can be more efficient, I welcome that conversation. Let's talk about it. That's what we do every year. We've been serious. I think everybody on this board is serious about that conversation. I think the track record over the past 3 years shows some very diligent, very serious conversations about how we fund ongoing services. So the need remains, the conversation will continue. I also appreciate the timing of the existing public safety sales tax goes through March of 2027. There remains time to discuss how that will impact Johnson County, and we'll have that conversation in the budget next year as we try to create a 27 budget with uncertainty around the continuation of this funding source. So we will have a very stark, very clear conversation about what that looks like. In the interim, though, we'll explore all options to fund these critical services, but trust me, they will be funded. We will take care of our public safety services. So with that, Commissioner Hanslick, do you have a motion? Oh, Commissioner Allenbrand?
Had my hand, yeah. Sorry, very quickly. Commissioner Myers, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I'm always going to stand behind our firefighters, our MedAct, and we need to take care of that. We're just looking at how to continue with the services that we have now, and believe me, if someone calls 911, we know they're there to support us. Chair, I stand behind you. I've never heard you yell. It's easy to throw stones at people that are trying to get things done. It's easy to vote no on everything, but to set and work together to come up with a solution. You know, I'm saddened because this took it away from the taxpayers. We took it away from them for them to vote on what they want, which we've heard loud and clear. This is something that we want. And Peg, Trent, I appreciate you and your team because you didn't do this all by yourself. You reached out to several other law firms as well to get recommended advice. So I want to thank all of them that was a part of this as well. So to me, it's a sad day. It's easy to throw stones. I appreciate all your work up and we'll continue to work forward. So thank you. And the same to you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Hanslick, do you have a motion?
I move the board approve resolution number 16425, withdrawing the call of the special mail ballot election scheduled for March 3rd, 2026, concerning the public safety retailer sales tax and necessary notices and certifications to effectuate withdrawal in accordance with applicable law.
Allenbrand, second.
Been moved by Commissioner Hanslick, seconded by Commissioner Allenbrand. Seeing no further questions at this time or request for discussion, ask the clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Fast.
Aye.
Commissioner Myers.
Myers, aye.
Commissioner Brewer.
Brewer, aye.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Hanslick, aye.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Yes.
Commissioner Allenbrand.
Allenbrand, aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye, that's 7 in favor, none against. Is that consistent with your count?
It is.
Very good. At this time, we'll go to our county manager, Ms. Bostick Ferguson, for a management report.
Okay, good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Have a few items for you today, and I think Bo McCall is coming in, yes, because we are going to update you on FIFA World Cup 26 and some planning that our staff is doing. Bo is our lead coordinator, and Aaron Otto is the CMO liaison as well. Before he begins his presentation, as he gets set up, I do want to share some exciting news that on the communication front, our airport shuttle announcement from last week from the board action has already generated 18 stories on 9 outlets, including a national one, and reached more than 200 readers. So it's exciting for Johnson County to be part of the Kansas City metro area and all the exciting things that will be happening in our planning for next year. So Bo, you want to take it from here?
Yes. Good morning, Chair, Commissioners. 181 days, we are getting closer, and I imagine the next 181 days are going to go pretty quickly. Last week was a huge milestone for the region, for the community. Last weekend, we found out who was going to be coming to Kansas City and the rest of the U.S., Canada and Mexico. Whether you're a big soccer fan or not, it was also very impactful for those local government planners that are around the region, from public safety and emergency services to transit to the watch parties to the visitor demand that we're expecting. This was, again, a huge milestone and something that we've all the planners have been waiting for to figure out guidance going forward on some of those operational needs. And so very exciting, thrilled that we're going to be welcoming Argentina, Algeria, Austria, Ecuador, Curacao, Tunisia, and Netherlands to Kansas City and Johnson County, the region, in just a few months, and under 181 days. We still have 2 matches that are on the board as well, and so we'll see who ends up there. Real quick, I'm just going to run through a few of the highlights, these group stage matches. So Argentina, of course, they're the reigning world champions. This will be the first match they've played since they won the World Cup back in 2022. Of course, Lionel Messi is recognized as maybe the greatest of all time. He'll be here playing his first match. Could not be more thrilled to have that as the first match in Kansas City. We also they'll be playing Algeria. That's Argentina's number 2 in the world right now, Algeria number 35. Ranking, Algeria being the Desert Foxes, they will also be joining us for a match on June 27th as well. That following match, we have Ecuador and Curacao. Ecuador is a really exciting team to watch right now. They're ranked number 23 in the world. Curacao is the smallest country to ever make the World Cup, which is nice parity to be playing in the smallest host city as well. So excited to welcome Curacao. Tunisia, currently ranked number 40 in the world, will be playing the Netherlands, which is ranked number 7. Netherlands will be bringing their very enthusiastic fan base, I'm sure, the Orange Legion. They are known for their marches to stadiums, so we're going to need to figure that out here in the region, how that's going to work. But very excited to be welcoming them. And then finally, we have Algeria and Austria. Algeria, again, number 35 in the world, and Austria being ranked number 24. Another match to keep an eye on here is that Tunisia-Netherlands. So following that match, there will be a U.S. men's national team match as well, being played in L.A. That's going to be a 9 p.m. game, so that's going to be a busy night for all of us here in the community. The round of 32, there's a couple of different prospects there. Don't want to speculate too much, but the Group K winner for round of 32 will all be paying attention to Colombia and Portugal. If Portugal were to go through, again, that would be one of the biggest soccer celebrities and just general sports celebrities in the world. Ronaldo playing here in Kansas City. And then the quarterfinal, again, there's a long ways to go to get to the quarterfinal, but there is a potential matchup with Argentina, Messi, and Ronaldo from Portugal playing in that quarterfinal. There's a lot of excitement in the soccer world for that. There's also a few potential pathways for the U.S. men's national team to come through Kansas City as well, so we'll see how that plays out. But very excited. Could not really be any more enthusiastic about who we're going to be seeing here in a few months. For the commissioners and also for Johnson County residents, want to make sure you are aware the next phase of FIFA tickets will be coming up. Actually starts today. It just started about an hour ago. So that will be open for the next month. That is a random selection draw. When you put your name in for the tickets, doesn't matter. So you don't need to go on and wait in line and see the scrolling bar for the next half hour. If you don't want to, you can wait and just put your name in whenever. But essentially, those will be, January 13th is the end date for that. So we'll see that go through then. There's also tickets available on the secondary market with like StubHub and SeatGeek. Another big announcement this week was the Connect KC 26 service. This was KC 2026's regional mobility service. They announced 3 lines, the Airport Direct, the Region Direct, and the Stadium Direct. Essentially, the Airport Direct will be an express between MCI and downtown. The Region Direct is something we're all really excited about. This is part of KC 2026's vision around economic growth and tourism in the region. There's going to be 15 stops in Kansas City and in and around Kansas City. They will all be direct services to FIFA Fan Festival from approximately June 11th to July 13th. We do have 4 stops here in Johnson County. Again, really excited to see that. That'll be in the Nexus City Center, Mission Transit Center, Oak Park Mall, and then the Overland Park Convention Center as well. The Stadium Direct is a direct service to the stadium. This is going to be for fans with tickets. These will all be through reservations. Those essentially will just be match day services, but that's also going to be a park and ride. And that we do have 1 stop out of the 5 here in Johnson County. Again, thrilled to see that at Oak Park Mall. Just to note too, these services, when you see them, are separate from the Johnson County Transit World Cup services that we'll be offering as well. The Airport Express is one I know that went in front of the commission last week, and then we're also working on other services that we'll hopefully be able to announce very soon. The countdown continues. There's a lot of exciting milestones still to come. The FIFA Fan Festival schedule, we should anticipate seeing that very soon. There's new KC game plan resources, so cultural insights, visitor demand forecast, hospitality guide. We should be seeing that launched as well very soon. Regional community events and watch parties. It's so cool to hear about all the different community events and watch parties that are coming together right now. There's a number of those happening in and around Johnson County and Johnson County cities. Some of the ones that are more well-known have been promoting it are Leewood for the Goal, Goal Latha, Pitch Lenexa. Those are all out there. And then team base camp selections. Anticipate that we will see those come over the spring. FIFA is not going to make their official announcement until May, or April, May. Basically, they're waiting until those last 6 teams qualify in March to make their official comprehensive announcement about what's happening to the base camps. But from what I've heard, the teams will be leaking this to their fan bases, of course, the local governments will know about this. So we should be knowing in the next couple months who our team base camps are if we do get any of the 3 sites selected. And then we have some exciting Johnson County United announcements coming up as well. So keep a lookout for that. We should be seeing those coming up in the next couple months. I also want to share, we have a temporary webpage stood up right now, johnsoncountyunited.com. It's really just a few tidbits of information on there about what Johnson County is working on. We will see a more dynamic, comprehensive webpage coming in the upcoming months. We're working closely with our city partners, communication directors around the region, who will also be providing content for that. So very excited to launch that, and wanted to show a video that they just released. This was in collaboration with our communications department and the city of Overland Park, and wanted to go ahead and show that to everyone. I threw a wrench in and I had to bring a video.
Sorry.
No worries. Yes.
The world is watching. But the game is just the beginning. And the field is bigger than you think. This is your home base. Johnson County United.
So again, just a taste of what is to come. But again, big weekend, big couple of weeks for the region, for Kansas City and Johnson County, and we'll see where we go from here. And that'll conclude my portion.
Bo, thank you for the update, and Chairman, thank you for your leadership on World Cup 26. And I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but also to Aaron and others that are working on, so many employees and departments that are working on the preparation.
I see there's a question from Commissioner Brewer.
Not really a question, but just a thank you. I just want to echo my thanks. I know since coming on board the commission at the beginning of this year, having my background early on in tourism and economic development, I was very keen on how are we going to maximize the opportunity to engage visitors here in Johnson County. And I really have appreciated the focus of that work with all our partners, cities within the county, but also having a regional viewpoint of making sure visitors can get around to see as many and stay as long as possible, because that's really the hook there is you'd like them to come into your community and know ahead of time there's enough to do, that they're not just planning their stay for the match, but they're planning their stay for a while. And that's really our goal. So I'm glad that we've kept that in focus. I'd like to use some soccer terms, but I'm not going to be as well versed. So I'm just going to say, I like that it's been our goal that we have been working on that.
Thank you. And I'll just, and maybe this will bring back to soccer. It's an amazing team effort, to the county manager's point. We have an amazing team working here in Johnson County. Our full committee has approximately 60, 65 people that joined that. We're about to have a meeting next week. There's all types of work happening at the department level. There's department task force that meet monthly. So again, it's an amazing team effort that's happening here in county, around the region, a lot of amazing partners.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Mr. McCall, where is Curacao?
Curacao?
Yeah, where is that?
It is a island nation in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So therefore, we're looking at welcoming teams from 4 continents. As of now, and possibly more, with the 2 matches yet to be determined. All right.
Okay, thank you, Bo, for the report. Exciting stuff. Next, we have Tara Markley, who want to come forward, and she is going to highlight the Johnson County K-State Extension JOCO Eats. Tara, welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much. I am just briefly going to say I appreciate you being here. The JOCO Eats, which stands for Easy, Affordable, Tasty Solutions, started in 2018. We had a little bit of transition, but I'm going to let you hear from Chelsea King. She is our community agent here in charge of health, food safety, and nutrition, who has really taken the charge of this website along with our Extension Master Food Volunteer. So I'll let you speak to the expert.
Thank you again for having us. And this has been a labor of love for probably about the past year. We know that having affordable food is obviously in everyone's mind. And then how do you take that affordable food or food that you're getting from pantries and turn it into nutritious meals? So how do I get this here? I'm going to show you the homepage here. So jocoeats.org is a kind of, we like to say, one-stop shop. So how JOCO Eats was first started in 2019 was it really was just focused on recipes, but we know that there's so much more to not just knowing the recipes, but how do you cook it? So we have some great resources on videos from our Master Food Volunteer program, as well as other K-State Extension resources. We also are focusing on local foods. So how do you bring people to the local foods, and how do you bring the local foods to the people? So this garden to table section helps to know where community gardens are at in our neighborhoods, as well as food pantries can access food from community gardens and other donation sites that provide those foods, and then also our farmers markets. We have some information on our food dollars, as well as our how-to guides. And the other great thing is about our resources is that we want to connect all of the great resources available here in our county as well. So from seniors who might be accessing aging and human services and needing to know where their feeding sites are, they can still access all of that information on JOCO Eats. So JOCO Eats links to many of the community services that are offered here in the county as well. So again, trying to connect everybody. If somebody's coming to look for recipes, they're also able to access local county services and knowing where local food pantries are. All that great stuff. And then we are linking it back to our Kitchen Restore project, which we talked about before, providing those basic kitchen essentials. We are sharing this resource. It's going in every Kitchen Restore box that we give out. It's being shared with our local libraries, our food pantries, and really anybody that comes to our classes. So although we are targeting food pantries, this is really for anybody that is looking to save some money, learn some new healthy recipes, and really just stretch their dollar, no matter if they're accessing food pantries or just trying to watch their budgets from their food perspective. We know that food is often the thing that gets cut first when housing, childcare, and other costs are highest. So we're trying to provide this resource for the community, for anybody in our communities.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Allenbrand.
Thank you, Chair. Well, I just want to applaud you because I was able to go to your dinner. So the whole, when I saw the salad with sweet potatoes and corn, I thought, oh, and beans, so high protein. I just couldn't believe it. So I'm so glad to see this. I'm actually going to see my kids over Christmas, and my grandson loves to cook. And we're going to make this recipe. My daughter-in-law does a lot of gardening, and so she has a lot of those items. But the other thing I've noticed, a lot of the items that were on that list they're having huge sales in grocery stores because they're high in protein. And I want to thank you for doing this. I really feel like this is going to make a big difference. So if somebody doesn't have a computer or webs, they can't go on and do that because some of the seniors I know don't have it. So we just take them copies, or is there another way?
Yeah, so we will be we've just kind of launched this, so our next phase is to get printed copies of recipes so that we'll have printed copies available for food pantries to hand out directly to their clients, and not just a flyer directing them to the website, but they can give them direct copies of the recipes. We'll have our recipes when we do outreach at community events. As our Master Food Volunteer in K-State, we're often invited to a lot of different community health fairs, and other local entities invite us to be part of their groups, handing it out at them, Health Partnership Clinic, making sure that they have different recipes, not just the direct link to the website, but printed copies of some of these recipes as well.
And I talked to Tara and the chair about, and I've been working with inviting Commissioner Fast, but also Commissioner Brewer of Ag Tourism that's in Brewer in my district, that I'm thinking when we go out, we're going to do a bus tour inviting the commission to go, that this is a talk we can also have with the farmers to see if maybe they could help donate, some food for people that are in need as well. So thank you for all the work you're doing.
Yeah, thank you for the feedback.
Commissioner Hanlon.
Thank you. Just two things I wanted to mention in regard to this presentation is, first of all, I know that county managers' staff are compiling information to include in constituent resources for the commissioners, and I think this is one that definitely needs to be in here, information about these many resources. Secondly, I wanted to thank especially Tara. A few weeks ago, one of the people who had previously spoken here in previous weeks about her experience being homeless, she was able to get an apartment in the Santa Fe Towers low-income senior apartment building, and she had nothing because she was homeless. And so I had reached out to Tara and said, is there any way we could help provide her with some dishes and cookware and all those things? So I went over to the Kitchen Restore, which if you haven't been there, it's really cool. And they had 2 big boxes for her. And then I was able to get some additional things like a coffee pot. Anyway, she was so happy to get those items. And it made a huge, huge difference. So I think in addition to the JoCo Eats, we really need to publicize the Kitchen Restore, both for people who need those kinds of items, but also people who want to donate them. I mean, we all have perfectly good things that we don't use. I know I do. So thank you for that program also, and for your personal help with that situation. It meant a lot to her.
Well, thank you both very much. We appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today, and appreciate hearing more about K-State Extension programs. Thank you. Last item is the annual inspection of Sunflower Quarry. You may recall that in January, you approved a CUP, or conditional use permit, for renewal of the existing quarry and expansion of mine limits for Sunflower Quarry. So part of the requirements for the CUP is that an annual inspection of the quarry is done. In October, planning staff did that, and Sean Penley has the results. I want to give a high-level summary, and the detailed information is in your packet.
Thank you, Penny. Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Penley, County Planning Staff. As Ms. Ferguson mentioned, you recall a conditional use permit was approved earlier this year for the existing Sunflower Quarry and a renewal of that quarry and expansion of the mining area. This is the quarry located near 95th Street in Lexington, south of DeSoto. One of the requirements is an annual inspection. Staff did conduct that inspection in October of this year. During the last reporting period, the applicant also did provide information too regarding reclamation, ongoing mining and reclamation of the quarry. And during the last reporting period, 6.3 acres of land was disturbed for mining activities and 3.2 acres was reclaimed. Those reclamation areas were covered with topsoil and seeded. And the total reclamation ongoing for the quarry is approximately 65 acres. So there is ongoing reclamation of the former mining areas. And that completed reclamation does follow the requirements of the conditional use permit. And the Martin Marietta is the operator of the quarry, and they've provided a reclamation plan documenting that completed reclamation along with aerial maps showing that. County staff has received 2 complaints for blasting related to the quarry in 2025. Staff checked the blast logs for those events, and it was found that the air blast and vibration data was found to be in compliance with county regulations. Staff did provide responses to those neighbors as well, indicating that, providing the data. There were no violations reported for the quarry in 2025, and the quarry does remain in compliance with the CUP. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Penley. Commissioner Allenbrand.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank you, Mr. Penley, and your staff for all the work you've done, and also working with the quarry. We've had a lot of issues out in my district in the past, and this has been a good partnership. So I appreciate the hard work they're doing as well. So thank you for that.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes my report.
Okay. We do have a couple of executive sessions, but we will take commissioner comments at this time. We'll start with Commissioner Myers.
Thank you, Chairman. No report.
Commissioner Ashcraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I apologize. I'm a swimmer, and sometimes when you swim, you breathe at the wrong time, and I got hit in my sinuses earlier, and it's just I can't get it clear, so I apologize if I cough into the microphone. A few things, Mr. Chair. I was looking on the notes for the records and the funding agreements that were signed, and I just wanted to follow up to see if there will be any further conversations. These agencies had come up as budget review issues, and I'm just wondering, will we be revisiting a couple of these? We've had some initial discussions on, a couple not. Will we be discussing these in the early part of 2026?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a question there. And I wanted to point out there are some monumental birthdays this month, Mr. Chairman, and some on this dais. But I wanted to recognize, and I'm sorry, I'm just a child at heart, but Dick Van Dyke was going to be 100 years old on Saturday, and that's a pretty big birthday. He was quite the entertainer. But in addition to that, Megan Johnson also will be celebrating the best birthday date of all in December, which is December 31st, which also happens to be my birthday. So I wanted to make sure she was recognized. So if we put her age together and my age together, we're almost as old as Dick Van Dyke. Yes. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to take a moment. This is our last meeting of this calendar year. It's our I guess it's our Christmas meeting, and I just wanted to take an opportunity to thank staff and members of the public for your interest and commitment to Johnson County and everything that you do for us and for the community. And I wanted to thank my fellow commissioners. It's an honor to serve with you. And while our discussions can be vibrant and energetic and anxious sometimes, I think that's a demonstration of the culture and the society we live in. And we are blessed to have the ability to disagree and fight and spat and make votes that move us forward. And so I wanted to thank you all for that, and I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Karen Kawans, and as Kramer on Seinfeld said, for the rest of us, enjoy your Festivus. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Ellenbrand?
Thank you, Chair. Well, first of all, I want to thank Aaron Wynn and Charmaine Willis and the chair and everyone who was involved in the legislative luncheon. I thought it was one of the best ones we've had. I really felt like there was good communication, and I really appreciate everything that went into that. I also want to say thank you to the fellow commissioners for giving the $14 million COVID relief funds to the Northwest Consolidated Fire Department, and we had the privilege of seeing the uncoupling. And Chair, I thought you did a pretty good job uncoupling those. I'm not sure that I could have done that, but I want to thank the city of DeSoto at Astor Park for the donation of the land, Panasonic, and my fellow commissioners for donating, getting that money to them. It was really exciting to see the fire truck, MedAct, and everybody in that building. So thank you for that. I also want to say, so I will be attending the Edgerton City Council meeting with Trent and our fellow firefighters out there as well to talk with them. Also, I want to say happy holidays and thank the staff, and I hope everybody, however you celebrate, that you have a good end of December.
Thank you. Commissioner Brewer?
Thank you, and thank you, Commissioner Allenbrand, for having us all out in your district tomorrow, or yesterday, for that uncoupling ceremony. It just reinforces the dedication. Looking at some of the firefighters that were in attendance, they look so young, but it was nice to see, recognition and understanding the importance of that profession, right, and that work that goes forward, as well as our MedAC. So I was happy to be there. With the legislative luncheon, I'll just go a little bit deeper into that. We try to work at the local and state level together, and sometimes that's sitting down, breaking bread, and talking over our priorities. And so it was refreshing to have a good attendance from our state legislators and to hear some of the work that they are looking to do that's in alignment with, it was an opportunity for the county to share its state policy platform, and then to listen. And it was nice to listen to our legislators and hear a number of them have some of their priorities aligned very closely with the county's priorities. So hopefully, I have to be an optimist in life, so I'm hoping we can work together. And then if you have not checked out the Overland Park Historical Society in downtown Overland Park, take a moment. There's some great history there, and a number of years ago, Chief Francis knows this more than I do, they were able to take down a wall in a building and actually find the front of the depot and to renovate that, and that's part of that display now. So I appreciate being invited to be a part and see that. Liaison to the Juvenile Justice Advisory Board, and I'll be sharing with my fellow commissioners some materials that were passed out at the last meeting that included, we have done kind of a mapping, sequential mapping process with adult corrections before. We haven't not done that with juvenile corrections. So there's a great, what they call sequential intercept mapping. It's from prevention into when somebody's touching public, justice-involved youth, and then the process through. And I think that is going to lead to some great continued collaboration with our youth residents. And then I'll have a library board meeting tonight. And I did not think of you as a New Year's Eve baby, Commissioner Ashcraft. How close were you to almost being a New Year's?
I was born at 5:37 p.m.
Okay. You could have waited just a little bit, and maybe you could have been the first baby of the new year.
My father wanted the tax deduction.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hanslick.
Well, thank you. I won't repeat the other many events that happened this past week, but a couple things. Wanted to again thank the Johnson County wastewater employees for inviting me and Commissioner Ashcraft and the county manager to yesterday's their employee annual holiday party and recognition event. We have, as I was told, about 250 employees in that department, and they are all heroes in my mind because they make sure that our wastewater system keeps running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and we don't even have to think about it. And so just another shout out to all of those very dedicated men and women who are true public servants through Johnson County Wastewater. I also just wanted to mention something because I hear it often, and I've often thought I need to clarify. I hear people refer to real estate property tax and personal property tax as the same thing, and they are very different things. So I wanted to point out that actually personal property taxes are taxes on movable assets like vehicles, equipment, furniture, snowmobiles, and real property taxes are on immovable assets like land and permanently attached structures. And part of the reason I bring this up is that we had mentioned earlier how the county has struggled with the loss of diverse revenue sources. And this is one of the areas in personal property taxes where we have lost that ability to have that diverse revenue coming through personal property taxes. For example, in 2006, state law fully exempted property tax from property tax all commercial, industrial, telecommunications, and railroad machinery and equipment for the purpose of expanding or creating a new business. This greatly reduced this source of tax revenue for the county. So just want to make sure people understand the difference between personal property taxes and real property taxes. They are not the same thing. And actually, Johnson County gets very, very little money in personal property taxes. So thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you to everybody for the comments today.
I didn't.
Oh, Becky, I'm so
yeah, I
sorry.
thought it was-
Commissioner Fast, my sincere apologies.
I don't, the only thing, I got to do the swearing-in ceremony for Westwood Hills, so it's the joy of having small little cities. You get to be the queen of the hour by doing the oath. So really enjoyed that. Prairie Village had volunteer appreciation on Saturday, and it always amazes me how many volunteers make a city operate, and the same with our county.
Well, thank you for representing us there. I'll just say thank you to everybody, and not to repeat the great things in what's already seems like a long December, even just 11 days in. But this being our last meeting of the year, we do wish everybody a happy holiday season, and hope you have an opportunity to celebrate with your family in whatever way that you choose to celebrate. I am proud of the efforts of this board, and I look forward to a good year ahead, a busy year ahead. Many of the things that we've talked about today. And the way that we'll be able to take most advantage of the years through partnership. I think meeting with our legislators on Monday was proactive, and there's great opportunities for partnership there. I appreciated the bipartisan fashion of this meeting, at a good balance. Both sides of the aisle, both sides of the chambers, both the Senate and House members, and really good discussion about where Venn diagrams overlap. There was more conversations about partnership and how we can work together to move bills forward than at any time that I can remember in having this legislative luncheon. So I appreciate those representatives and senators who chose to join us, but the door remains open for any others who are willing to have a serious conversation about partnership with different layers of government. Thank you to the public and private partnerships that are moving our community forward as it relates to the World Cup. I wanted to give Bo the opportunity to talk about how incredible it is to welcome two of the biggest soccer nations in the world to our community, and those fans will be here in Johnson County. There's been a lot of work on airport routes and circulator routes, and we should be proud of that work. It would not have happened without the dedicated effort of this board, and for that I am grateful. So I hope everybody has a fantastic holiday season. Merry Christmas, and looking forward to 2026. We have a couple of executive sessions that we're going to hold today. We also have a special meeting focused on fire boards, and we appreciate our guests are here for that meeting. So what we're going to do is allow the clerk to switch the technology briefly, take about a 10-minute break to do so, and then we'll start with our fire district meeting. So we'll hold this meeting in recess at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.